Welcome to the February 13th, 2024 City Council meeting. Please, roll call.
Mayor Webb.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
Here.
Councilmember Mondo.
Here.
Councilmember LaFuro.
Here.
Councilmember Washington.
Here.
Of approval of the agenda and rule of procedure.
Move approval of the agenda and rule of procedure.
Support. Any dissension, discussion? Hearing none. Motion passes. We have an agenda. Mr. Klobuchar, we have a special recognition of our animal control officer. Would you like to give us to her, and I can read it up into the record? Jennifer Thomas, would you please step forward?
Come on up here, Jennifer.
In recognition of your ongoing commitment and dedicated service to the City of Hazel Park and the Hazel Park Police Department, your remarkable contributions to our work, environment, and are greatly appreciated. And we would like to give you this and thank you for all that hard work.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, and those of you in attendance here today, Jennifer Thomas is truly an outstanding animal control officer. She does a great job of protecting the residents of Hazel Park and our furry friends, and she works tirelessly to find homes for many of these animals, and we are just very lucky, very fortunate to employ someone with her background. She's a master's degree. She's a former employee of the Detroit Zoo. She really knows her stuff, and we are so very grateful that she has chosen to work here at the City of Hazel Park Police Department. So on behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service. And here you go.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yes. Chief, would you want to say anything, Chief?
Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate what the city manager said. She's highly dedicated. You volunteer so much of your time. She's here at 8 o'clock every day. She's supposed to leave at 4 o'clock. I don't know if you ever leave before 5. So you're a complete asset to this city. So thank you.
I want to say what an honor it is to work for Chief Buchholz and the Hazel Park Police Department, the City of Hazel Park, and the residents. It's truly the most rewarding job I've ever had, so thank you all for that. Obviously, thank yous. I think I've had help from everyone in the city, so thank you for that, but especially for the officers that do my job when I'm not able to, so I can actually go home somewhere. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Klobuchar, we have the Hazel Park Promise Zone on there as a special presentation.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have Mr. Tim Logan from the Robertson Brothers Construction and Monica Rati from the Hazel Park Promise Zone are here for a special presentation. I guess I should have stayed over there. Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is Tim Logan from the Robertson Brothers Construction Company. And as we all know, they've been the developers of the very highly successful condo development in the old St. Mary Magdalene School area. And as part of their desire to give something back to the community for the success that they've enjoyed here in the Hazel Park, City of Hazel Park, they have brought a check to us today for the Hazel Park Promise Zone. And Tim, I want to thank you and the other members of Robertson Brothers for presenting this check, and joining us also from the Promise Zone is our Promise Zone accountant and all-star volunteer, Monica Ratti. Monica, did you want to say something?
I just want to say thank you. This is my 10th year with the Promise Zone, and we actually have a wonderful match going on right now from the Balmer Group. So this check is going to go towards that, and thanks for helping getting our students to and through college. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, Tim.
So first of all, Tim Lochran, Robertson Brothers Homes. Great to see you all again. I see some familiar faces. This is the favorite part, my favorite part of the job, because you can't reject me. So I have no fear of rejection here. But we're happy to be here. I see a lot of familiar faces that were very instrumental in us doing what we've done there. Hopefully, we've delivered on all the promises, and we're excited. We've got about 15 left to close. We'll have another check when we're done with those, but we'd like to give to the community. Ed had mentioned this foundation early on, so we're happy to do it, and I've got my Ed McMahon check that I can hand over, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys want to come here and get a picture? Stand up there, and we'll try to get everybody in here. Yeah, stand a little over here, and we'll put them behind us. And
I'll leave these pictures. I'm already the first. I'll go down. 1, 2, 3, cheese.
For those of you in the audience that don't know, the Hazel Park Promise Zone is instrumental in sending kids from the Hazel Park School District to college. As part of the Hazel Park Promise, if you live in the Hazel Park School District, you graduate from Hazel Park High School, you are entitled to tuition in the amount of tuition for community college for 2 years. And the Promise Zone acts as the funder of last resort to guarantee that every student has an opportunity to go to college. And we also have college advising services, and we act in a manner like a local college access network, where we find things and resources for those students to ensure their success. So this check will go a great deal of distance in terms of ensuring that the young students in our community have every educational opportunity that we can provide them. Thank you, and congratulations on your success. I'm sorry.
We do have our dinner coming up February 27th at the gazebo. If anybody wants to come, we still have tickets available.
$75. Buy two, bring a friend.
There's raffle table.
It's a great time, and I haven't missed one of these dinners yet since I've been city manager, and please consider buying a ticket and attending. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that moves us to the proclamation dedicating February as Black History Month. And Councilman Kiro he said he would like to read this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. City of Hazel Park, a resolution proclaiming Black History Month. Whereas during Black History Month, we celebrate the many achievements and contributions made by African Americans to our economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development. And whereas Black History Month grew out of the establishment in 1926 of Negro History Week by Carter G. Woodson and the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. And whereas the observance of Black History Month calls our attention to the continued need to battle racism and build a society that lives up to its democratic ideals. And whereas the City of Hazel Park continues to work towards becoming an inclusive community in which all citizens, past, present, and future, are respected and recognized for their contributions and potential contributions to our community, the state, the country, and the world. And the City of Hazel Park is proud to honor the history and contributions of African Americans in our community throughout our state and nation. So now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Hazel Park does hereby proclaim February 24th February 2024 to be Black History Month, as we encourage all citizens to celebrate our diverse heritage and culture and continue our efforts to create a world that is more just, peaceful, and prosperous for all.
Thank you, sir. And so moved, we proclaim February Black History Month. Moves us to civic announcements. Anyone in the public have any civic announcements? Seeing no one, I close the public civic announcements. City Council have any civic announcements?
I just wanted to remind everybody that the PIPA grant survey is still active on the Hazel Park Library's website. It's also available in person. It is just 2 questions, and it's going to decide the theme of the grant, or the mural that we have received the grant for through the DIA. It's going to take up the entire side of the library building there. So make your opinions known, make your voices heard, and answer those 2 questions, and really contribute to the beautification of that corner of 9 Mile and John R.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Carroll.
Yes, I'd like to make everybody aware, all the public aware, that the Board of Review, which is a board that you can discuss questions or concerns about property tax assessment and taxable value, will be meeting March 5th, 7th, and 11th. There's a posting in the newspapers. There's a posting on the door entrance to City Hall. And you can find questions, information on the website as well. This is if you have any questions about your property taxes, concerns about the taxable value. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other civic announcements from the council?
Mr. Mayor, we do have some communication from the Oakland County Treasurer's Office, and I would like to remind people that individuals that are interested in scheduling a taxpayer assistance meeting with the Treasurer's Office can call them at area code 248-858-0611, or they may visit www.oakgov.com/treasurer. And some of the other resources available to assist taxpayers include the Financial Empowerment Center in the Treasurer's Office, which provides one-on-one financial coaching and services to help taxpayers achieve their financial goals. You can contact Rita at nafsor@oakgov.com or dial 248-807-5287. And then Lakeshore Legal Aid provides free legal services to people who are low income and seniors, and that number is 1-888-783-8190.
Okay, anyone else? Close civic announcements. When we open up public discussion, can you please come up? I guess a few people to ask come up first here. Please give your full name and address for the record. Benjamin Irving.
Benjamin Irvin, 2180 Brickley Street. I'm here tonight representing Hazel Park Community Coalition. If you haven't heard about the coalition is completely aimed at preventing youth substance use within the community, and really at its core, it's really just trying to help kids, truthfully live their best life, right? We want healthy, happy kids, solid foundation, strong social support system for them to be able to pursue what's best for them. Very recently, we have been basically recognizing more and more that the community has an issue when it comes to youth substance use. And so we dug into the data, and what we saw was this, is that we have a major issue with marijuana for kids, and we also have a major issue with tobacco and nicotine for kids. Adult use has been pretty much completely normalized, but I think it's very separate from childhood use. Kids develop and grow all the way up into their mid to early 20s, at least from a brain perspective, and early use can ultimately affect a kid where kids that often use will not graduate high school. Those that go on to high school will not necessarily graduate college. So we took our information that we had, we went to the CDC, we presented our information with a plan. The CDC came back to us and said, yes, we agree. So they gave us a $625,000 grant paid out over the next 5 years. I'm here tonight partly because of that. We agreed with the CDC to give public addresses, and part of the tools and resources that we're providing in the community. One of the first ones is this bag that many of you have received. This bag is smell-proof, it is slash-proof, it is lockable. Put anything RX or something that should not be in the kids' hands in here. Let's keep each other's kids safe, and thank you for having the time tonight.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you for your efforts with the coalition. It's a very important organization.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Ben, where would these bags be available to for the community?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I didn't know how much time I had left on the stop clock. 2 minutes?
About a minute
Okay.
left.
You have 50 seconds.
All right, so basically, currently we do not have our own website. The website is through the school. We're working on getting our own website. But if you go through the school, the contact information is there, so you can definitely reach out that way. Additionally, we've already given out over 100 of these bags within the community at the recent resource fair. And in addition to that, they'll be handed out during like teacher conferences, anything that, where it would be a good place for them to be, okay? So if there's additional uses, by all means, raise your hand and let us know. We're happy to support.
All right.
Okay?
Well, thank you, sir.
Have a good one.
You too. It brings up a John Davids. Address for record, please.
Yeah, John Davids, 118 Crane Avenue, Royal Oak. The reason I'm here tonight is I'm the lead architect for King Scott, working with the school district on the bond issue that'll be on the ballot in May. And I'm also a proud Hazel Park high school graduate, class of 1977. So I've been working with the district for about 2.5, 3 years now on several smaller projects, and then started working this past year on the bond proposal. And I've been designing schools for 38 years, so when I got the chance to work in my home district, it was really an honor to be able to do these few projects now and hopefully do something more for these kids in the future. I think the biggest question that the board is getting is, why are we replacing Webster Elementary School? So I wanted to address that from an architectural and kind of planning standpoint, is that Webster was built in 1957 when education was very different. Basically back in my era in the 60s in Hazel Park schools, you had 30 kids sitting at desks facing in one direction, learning from a teacher. Education is so different now, and when we looked at remodeling the existing building, we could spend a lot of money to remodel the building, fix all the systems, fix all the finishes, and still end up with a functionally obsolete building, because education is very different than it was when that building was built in the 50s. And that's what I've spent my whole career doing, is designing public schools. So what is different about education today? Well, education, we've learned through the years that all kids don't learn alike. There's very many different learning styles, so spaces need to accommodate differentiated learning, individualized learning. Also, learning is collaborative, so we've also spent a lot of time designing spaces so that kids can teach each other. The best way to learn something for some kids is to teach it. Also, these spaces need to be flexible, which the existing building spaces are not, to accommodate a lot of different activities that kids do. And then the most important thing is that these spaces should be curriculum-driven. Curriculum is very different now than it was in the 1950s. So with a new school, we're able to design things very specifically for the kids, for the kind of activities they do now and the way that they learn right now. So I think it's a great opportunity, and there's room on that site at Webster. And the other nice piece of this is that moving the Early Childhood Center over to Hoover, that's a properly sized building for Early Childhood Center, has toilet rooms and a lot of the classrooms already. It's near the high school, so there can be a lot of synchronicity with the high school kids and the Early Childhood Center. So I think it was a hard decision, but when it came right down to it, it looked like it just made a lot more sense to build a new Webster in that location rather than renovate the building. So in closing, I guess I would just say that for Hazel Park to continue to be successful, the community has to invest in these buildings and make them relevant for today's students and teachers, and that your kids deserve this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And it takes us to Maria Fernanda. And who else?
Those are all my names.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had two people listed on here. Sorry.
My name is Maria Fernanda Manzanares Bobadilla. I'm at 110 Anderson Court. I'm basically here just to bring awareness to harassment I've been receiving from my neighbor since August of last year. She goes after me for my nationality. I'm Mexican. And up until a week ago, she actually escalated it to physical assault. So this past week, it's been very hard for me. Basically, I'm not even living at home right now because I don't feel safe. She's been harassing me for a while. I've contacted the police. There should be around 4 to 5 police reports over this situation. It's always about, she's calling me slurs, saying I'm Mexican this, Mexican that. I have a camera I put up where I have a bunch of videos of her addressing me and saying just ethnic intimidation, you know. As far as I know, after the physical assault, her and her husband went to jail. And I guess now they're out, which is why I don't feel safe going back to my house. Basically, just want to bring awareness to this. I've had to leave my house. I mean, I haven't gone to work as much as I go every week just because I'm, you know, experiencing some trauma from it. And I am just basically here to ask for help from the city to see what can be done, as I do believe this has been a hate crime, and I know she hasn't been charged for that. She's been charged for assault and battery and trespassing because this was on our own property. She began threatening me, looked me straight in the eye, saying, I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to hurt you, I'm going to hurt you. And her husband attacked my boyfriend. We both live there. I just kind of wanted to request for the city to have me in mind as a real person. I know maybe from your point of view, I'm just a case, but I do want to see what I can do.
Let me ask our city attorney, are you familiar with this case?
Yes, I am, Mr. Mayor. In fact, the police department did a very in-depth investigation. Detective was assigned. The detective did send it to the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office. The Oakland County Prosecutor's Office reviewed the information, and it was actually provided up from the detective, and the ethnic intimidation was part of that that was sent up. After review by the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office, they issued charges against the female subject for assault and battery, and for trespass. They denied the Hazel Park Police Department detectives' request for a warrant on the male subject. Any questions or concerns that you have, support for these charges, you would want to contact the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office directly, and that was sent after an extensive review and investigation assignment to a detective by the Hazel Park Police Department.
So,
question, do you have an order of protection out?
Yeah, I had to pay for a PPO. I'm not sure if it's been served yet, but there is a no contact rule. As far as what I see is she's still kind of, like my boyfriend went over to pick up some things, and she's still kind of trying to, I don't know if intimidate or is the right word.
You shouldn't have to be subject to shameful behavior by this person.
It's very important to contact.
You need to, yes.
Right.
Make the contacts, make the information go to the prosecutor's office and to our prosecutor.
Yeah, you're going to have to go, again, in this case, it's important that you contact the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office, the office of Karen McDonald in Pontiac, because they're responsible for prosecuting felonies. Here we can prosecute local ordinance violations, which are of a misdemeanor level. Okay, our police department believed that this could be ethnic intimidation, and that's why they submitted the packet to the county prosecutor's office. After review, they declined to issue those charges. If you believe that those charges should be issued, contact them with any additional evidence or anything like that that might happen. In the meantime, okay, if she contacts you, if she makes contact with you, contact the police department immediately, okay? We understand that you've been the victim of a crime. We are aware of, unfortunately, that this individual has a history of fighting and disagreeing with neighbors. So we're going to, all kinds of neighbors. So we are going to keep a very close eye on this situation. We will arrest whenever we can arrest. We will issue violations whenever we can issue violations. We will do everything within our power to protect you all the time. But you need to contact us if anything like that happens. Don't engage with her, walk away, but call the police immediately. If she attempts to follow you, make sure you call the police. Again, we will, like I said, we're going to have extra patrols there on a regular basis to make sure, but you have to keep us informed what's happening, okay?
So we could request like extra.
Yep, you don't have to request it. I'm gonna order it. So we're doing it.
Yes.
The chief confirmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
He's
also,
here
you
in the
gotta
building.
Be aware of your,
He's here.
be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
That's the being visual on that is also part of this too.
Of course.
And having the police
And
so close to be within a minute.
You do have a camera? Good. Okay.
And it's very important that it's very, very important that you inform the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office. You can call them and ask for the prosecuting attorney assigned to your case. And they also have a victims advocacy program. And so you can get the support and services. It's very, very important. If you need any contact information, reach out to my office. I'm on the second floor. I also have that information outside of my office as well. But it's very important if you're afraid to go home that you let your assigned prosecuting attorney at the county know.
Okay.
And for the record, at the local level, she has prosecuted her before.
Multiple times.
And we're going to continue to prosecute her if we need to here at the local
Multiple
level.
contacts.
So, and I think the next time we are definitely going to ask that jail be issued in this case because I think that this has gone on long enough, far enough, and fines are not going to get it anymore. I think that in this case, incarceration is warranted.
And I think the most important thing is that our chief of police and the police department are very well aware of the situation. They take it very, very serious, all situations. But in this case, after their thorough investigation, they made the decision to elevate it up to the county prosecutor and removed it right out of the misdemeanor level. So it's up at the county. So please have confidence in the great work that our police do, okay?
Okay, so it's that they are dealing with it now.
Yes.
They're dealing with it again.
Yes.
This is how it works. If it's a felony, then it has to be submitted to the county prosecutor, the county prosecutor's office, for state charges for felonies. We can only, Melissa and Amanda can only prosecute local misdemeanor offenses here in the district court. Anything else has to go to the county prosecutor's office or the attorney general's office.
It was elevated. It was elevated up to the county charges.
Gotcha.
Our police department tried to do that, yes.
No, it's real serious.
So make sure
They asked for the review because the police can ask the prosecuting office for review. And that is after review from the prosecutor's office. These are the charges that they issued. So keeping in contact with the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office is very important. You can call my office. It's 248-547-4741. My name is Melissa Schwartz. That's the direct dial number to the desk phone that I have. Okay. You call me and I can get you some information on the number up there, also where the victim advocacy number is, and I have some flyers and information, always free, outside my door. You can come and get that as well. At the conclusion of this hearing, you can walk right up. It's out there now.
Okay. Thank you. And one more question. Will I have to call the city to make sure that the PPO has been served, or
you want to stay in contact with your prosecutor?
With the prosecutor. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the victim advocate that will be assigned to you if you request one.
Okay.
Just request one. Okay.
I will. Yes. Thank you.
I know you've heard a lot of information. Just make sure that you contact our attorney's office so you can get the correct info on who to contact at the county level, because that's where you're going to get the most success.
Sounds good.
And you're going to get the most protection. And we all up here we all feel horribly for you, and we're all rooting for you to stay safe. So whatever information and whatever assistance our level department can give you, they're absolutely there to give you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And again, we are very sorry that this has happened to you in our community.
This is terrible.
Know that we deplore what she's done, and we view it as felonious here, and hopefully the county prosecutor's office will view it the same way.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't view our city this way, because we are a very friendly city, and we are very diverse here in how we talk to people and how we conduct ourselves.
Yeah.
This is a bad example of a bad actor, and that doesn't represent the rest of us.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And best of luck.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, Mike Flores, where are you? There you are. Hi, Mike. How you been?
Mayor, I'm always doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well, thank you.
Buenas noches. Good evening. Esteemed members of City Council,
I need the address, sorry.
Yeah, name and address for the record, please.
Yep, I was getting there.
Okay.
Okay. Buenas noches. Good evening. Esteemed members of City Council, city staff, fellow residents, and community members. My name is Mike Flores. I'm a proud Hazel Park resident and live on Manatee Avenue. Tonight, I find it a bit disappointing that Council may be considering approving a resolution to limit its focus solely on local issues. With limited transparency on this action, on the same night when residents are requesting a ceasefire resolution for a global conflict, I'm asking Council to table this local issue resolution, allowing the community time to review and study the details and the impact on our community. While this proposed resolution may provide some perceived benefits, it risks overlooking the interconnectedness of local and global issues that profoundly impact our community. As members of our local community, we have witnessed the troubling erosion of trust. We have witnessed a troubling erosion of trust in our elected federal and state leaders. Despite overwhelming calls from the majority of Americans for a ceasefire, our representatives have largely ignored our voices, leaving many of us feeling unheard, not seen, and disillusioned. Many times, I have heard the mayor proclaim local government being the beacon of democracy. Mayor, I 100% agree with you.
We are.
In times of uncertainty and distrust, it is our local leaders who serve as our last line of defense in elevating critical issues and advocating for meaningful change. We cannot afford to remain silent or be passive bystanders when human lives are at stake. The ceasefire in Gaza is not just a matter of diplomacy. It is a matter of human dignity, compassion, and justice. Our communities bear the weight of global conflict, and it is incumbent upon us to take a stand for peace. I'm heartened to share that a recent petition circulating in our community supporting a ceasefire in Israel, Gaza, and Palestine has garnered more than 120 signatures. What's even more significant is almost 50% of those signatures come from residents right here in Hazel Park, along with our neighbors from Ferndale, Madison Heights, and Warren, who frequent our city for their shopping needs. Tonight, I urge Council to recognize the interconnectedness of local and global issues and to take decisive action in support of a ceasefire resolution in Israel, Gaza, and Palestine. I call upon each of you to consider the impact of your voices and decisions on the lives of innocent civilians caught in the crossfires. Let us demonstrate our community's commitment to peace, humanity. Let us amplify our voices, demand accountability, and advocate for a future free of violence and oppression for all human beings.
Your time has expired.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Council. As always, I thank you for listening, for your listening ear.
Thank you.
I thank you for your consideration and guidance.
We'll
and
listen
again,
to-
I urge for a ceasefire from the city of Hazel Park. Thank
I
you.
appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Takes a Sarah Pitchford.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
My name is Sarah Pitchford. I live at 334 East Bernard here in Hazel Park. I am also a social worker in the community. I work for CMH in Oakland County. We are the biggest mental health provider in the country, but I get a chance to work in Oakland County. I'm here tonight to let you know that my Arab American individuals are scared. Islamophobia is raging and more prevalent than ever. I hear this sentiment over and over from my coworkers, the clients I serve, and my friends. I'm here tonight to ask the Hazel Park City Council to call a ceasefire in Gaza as it's foundational in supporting the dignity across the pond of the lives being lost, but also supporting the local citizens as well. We do not operate in a vacuum. Global events affect our local communities. We see this in gas prices. We see this when shipping boats get stuck in the Panama Canal, and we see this in war. Resolutions can unite our city as we come together united in community action and be on the right side of history like some of our neighboring committees. I'm not sure if you know, but Ferndale last night did pass a city council resolution calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. So just so we're clear, I'm here to ask for the Hazel Park City Council to call for an immediate ceasefire, the safe release of all hostages, and immediate delivery of humanitarian aid. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mal Johnson.
Thank you, and you got my name right.
Ferndale passed a proclamation, not a resolution.
Okay.
Yes, Mal Johnson, 50 Orchard Avenue. Good evening.
Good evening.
I am up here asking and urging you to officially call for a permanent ceasefire in Palestine. I'm truly confused why I'm even standing here. Why have you not called for a ceasefire or shown any support for Palestine yet? The massacre that has been going on in Palestine is unimaginable. I know that the city manager and members of city council have tried to make it clear that Hazel Park doesn't speak on international matters, but you do. You all showed up in such quick and strong support of Ukraine in 2022. In fact, it only took the city council 4 days to show public support for Ukraine. 4 days. So yes, Hazel Park does get involved in international issues, even just to show support. According to the Ukraine government, a total of 510 children were killed between February 2022 and November 2023. That is 510 children within about 21 months or a little under 2 years. According to the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, 4,100 children were killed in just 30 days in Gaza. This number doesn't even include children who have been killed in the West Bank. The World Health Organization representative for Gaza is now reporting that a child is killed every 10 minutes in Gaza, which is 6 children per hour, 144 children per day, 1,008 children per week, which then actually puts this at a higher number of around 4,300 children every month. The sheer amount of difference in numbers for just children killed in Palestine and the Ukraine makes me so incredibly confused as to why you are so easy to support Ukraine, but you are being so adamantly against showing any form of support for Palestine. I understand that calling for a permanent ceasefire on a local level isn't going to make Israel stop its slaughtering and the ethnic cleansing of Palestinian people immediately, but it can help put pressure on our state. It will make people feel seen and heard. It will make not only Palestinian people, Jewish people, but also Hazel Park residents like myself proud of our city, a city who stands up and supports humanity, locally and internationally. During a protest I organized in Hazel Park last month, we had over 60 people turn out, and countless people, including Palestinians, came up to me and said how much this meant to them. Now imagine how much it would mean to them if this city showed up for them. And I know some of you are thinking that there aren't large populations of Jewish or Palestinian people in Hazel Park, but from my knowledge, there's not a large population of Ukrainians in Hazel Park either. As the friendly city, please don't be the ones to pick and choose who you show up for. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, really quickly, there was someone who wanted to speak who couldn't attend. I was told I could bring her speech to get put on the record.
You can submit it to the
Submit it.
record. And
Yeah, that's what I
in the
mean.
record, but I think.
We
how
can
much
put it
time
in the
should I
record.
have?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Just leave it with one of these attorneys. They'll make sure it gets into the record.
Thank you.
From Ruth Spalding, right?
Yes.
Okay. On Kennedy? Hank? Didn't see the K there, sorry.
Hello, my name is Hank Kennedy. I live at 300 East Harry Avenue. Local resolutions have a proud history of influencing the foreign policy of this country. In the 60s and 70s, cities and towns passed resolutions decrying the illegal, immoral, and unjust war in Southeast Asia. In the 1980s, local communities passed their resolutions supporting a nuclear freeze and in opposition to the insanity of the nuclear arms race. Today, many cities, including Ann Arbor, Detroit, Ypsilanti, have passed resolutions calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. You might be surprised that this issue is brought up before City Council, but when I have tried to contact my federal officials, I have found that they do not hear what I have to say. Senators Gary Peters and Derry Stabenow have their ears stuffed with cash from the weapons contractors and the war profiteers. On Sunday, these two senators approved another $14 billion to the government that carried out the bombing of Rafah during the Super Bowl. This is a government in Israel whose minister of transport called Sudanese migrants a cancer, whose finance minister said, "I am a proud homophobe," and compared gay pride marches to bestiality. This is a government whose security minister kept a framed portrait of the terrorist and mass murderer Baruch Goldstein in his living room, and this was a man who killed 29 Muslims in cold blood as they prayed. We would not tolerate this type of government in Michigan or America, so why are we spending money to prop one up overseas? We in Michigan and in the United States need to do all that we can to stop this genocide, and it is a genocide. Both the International Court of Justice and the District Court for Northern California have said that it is. We in this room calling for a ceasefire, we are not summer soldiers or sunshine patriots. We will be here as long as it takes to get a ceasefire resolution passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone wishing to speak is public open mic. Hello.
Hi again, Council. Bobby Mojica, East Madge Avenue. Just here again to mention that since the last City Council meeting, which was maybe 4 or 6 weeks ago?
5 weeks ago, yeah.
5 weeks ago. Still wondering if there is a count of the number of trees cut down to date, and if there is a count of the number of trees planted to date, and to note that my call to DPW was never returned. I also have a question about the Beautification Commission. Myself and one of the other women that was here last council and spoke both submitted applications yesterday. We're just wondering what the process was, if there was somewhere on the website to find the process, how it works, how long it takes, any information that you have on that.
When did the applications get filed?
Yesterday.
Might be a little quick. So.
No, I know. I'm just wondering if there's anywhere to find that kind of information.
Yeah, the applications are submitted to the clerk's office, and they'll be
submitted to us.
And the mayor will decide on appointments.
Okay.
The next meeting.
Yeah, probably next meeting.
Any info on the trees?
I haven't heard anything updated lately. Since,
I mean, I know that the map is completed and that the numbers are in.
We haven't seen anything.
If I would, I could bring that. I didn't know that she was going to be here. We knew that there was stuff going on with the trees last time, but I do know that we have all of the numbers. They were going out and counting and doing various things. They had all the information. I know that there's a map that's put together. But I don't know any of it by heart right now off the top of my head.
I did talk to Megan probably a couple weeks ago, and I told her we were working on it, so we're trying to get that all together.
Will you be posting that?
I We haven't discussed that yet.
Okay.
to speak
So
for the rest of us.
maybe ask at the next meeting and see what's up.
Yeah, we're going to see what's going to happen.
Okay.
We're not forgetting it. Okay.
No, it's in process.
It's in process.
He actually went out and he actually counted trees. He actually looked at the plantings that we did.
Takes a little time.
He actually, we created like new information.
Right.
So, because we want to make sure we give you everything that we've got. So,
great.
We have not forgotten you, Bobby.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more question. Are there any rules about cars parked in driveways with no tags?
I'm sure it is.
Yes, there are. Your vehicle has to be operable and functional.
If you want to give that
If you want to
address
write
too
down an
discreetly
address,
to someone of the, just to Amanda here, would be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have the address?
Just get it from her after, or you can call her.
Okay, anyone else wishing to speak? Please come up and give your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Anthony Johnson, and I live at 50 Orchard Avenue. So, as citizens of Hazel Park or any other city anywhere in this state, this country, or even anywhere in the world, when we hear news about people or events, we're all affected. Whether it's tragic news like an earthquake happening in California, Nepal, or Turkey, or violence happening in a nearby city to someone we recognize, or even joyful news like children being rescued from a cave or life-saving medical advances, we can't help but be affected. We are all connected more now than ever before, and what happens in this world affects all of us, whether directly or through words and images from the news. Currently, we are all witness to an unprecedented bombing of a civilian population in an extremely short amount of time, never before seen in the history of this planet. And it's bombing of anyone and everyone deemed unworthy of life and completely expendable, and it's not justice. It's plain and simple, pure wrath on an entire people and a culture, and total all-out war on every aspect of that society, from the very youngest to the very oldest. And the cruelty is the point, and we're all witnessing this devastation, and we're all affected. We all probably have, maybe we don't know people, but we know that our very close neighbors in neighboring communities probably have family members. And pretending that it's not our place as a local population or a local city is, it's not our place to speak out for all who are continuously dying, and is trying to unsee what we've already witnessed. So I'm just calling, also for a ceasefire resolution to be passed here. That I think that recognizes that even as a small town, our voice can affect other people, and that we're all part of a global humanity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah. Mayor and council members, my name is Suhair Ghanam. I am a Palestinian American. My parents are 1948 Nakba survivors. I have relatives and friends who are trapped now, trying to survive in...
Ma'am, could you state your address for the record, please?
Yeah, I live in Huntington Woods. My address is 13366 Victoria Avenue, Huntington Woods.
Thank you.
There's no question or doubt that war crimes have been committed by Israel in Gaza. Countries around the world, international human rights organizations, and the Court of Justice are investigating genocide acts that are taking place in Gaza. Senator Chris Van Hollen from Maryland said yesterday on the Senate floor, kids, and this is a quote, kids in Gaza are now dying from the deliberate withholding of food. That is a war crime. It is a textbook war crime. And that makes who orchestrated it war criminals. Like Senator Van Hollen, we are citizens who are enraged by seeing children getting slaughtered. Israel expressed their wish to empty Gaza from its inhabitants. This is a continuation of the Nakba of 1948, the systematic ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. Israel is creating a self-sustaining catastrophe by dismantling the civilian structure. Israel has destroyed the sewage system, water distillation plants, 70% of housing units, detonated and destroyed all 26 universities, destroyed churches and mosques, including one of the 3 oldest churches in the world. They also destroyed hospitals and clinics. Israel has created conditions on the ground that will make Gaza uninhabitable, which will achieve Israel's objective of leaving no choice to the civilians but to go through another Nakba of displacement and to be forced to move out of Gaza. That is a textbook war crime. As a city council, you are making a choice, calling for a ceasefire or be complicit in a genocide. Our community has been hurting and in trauma for 4 months. You may want to opt out.
3 minutes.
Thank you. Calling for a ceasefire.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening.
Yeah.
Al Casanelli, 580 East Hayes. You may know me from my most recent attempts at City Council, during which I put out mailers that, in accordance with the committee rules and guidelines, I put my address on. And as a result, I received a lot of letters from citizens, which was awesome. Negative or positive, it showed emotion. But they left out return addresses. And I got one recently last week, and they're not aimless, they're poignant. But what I am here today to encourage is channel this energy and this emotion in the proper ways. Get involved. Echoing comments on Facebook, complaining into the void, does not merit the change that you wish. While I was campaigning, I did a door-to-door meet and greet, and the people of Hazel Park have tremendous opinions of the city, negative and positive. The disappointing thing is that that energy does not translate into elections, voting. Your voice is not heard when you don't do your civic duty. In our election, we only had 1,200 votes around, estimated. That's a shame. I'm sorry, Hazel Park, but you are far too passionate to go unheard. We have an election coming up on May 7th. It is a vote for the bond. Please inform yourself. It is not so much about what they're asking, but how they're asking for it. Pay attention to everything, do your due diligence, or reach out to any one of these fine people who have been elected to serve. They are all very accessible. No one knew me in Hazel Park. I've lived here for 8 years. I was active elsewhere. A year and a half ago, I decided to get involved. I now know every single person up here personally and could contact them if need be. I am now on the planning committee because the unsuccessful attempt at city council did not leave me aimless. It made me more hungry to be involved. This is a tremendous turnout for a city council this evening. I applaud everybody that's here voicing their opinions, but normally there's 3 people in the audience. Yet you can get 75 comments on Facebook. I don't discourage that. That's open for that intention. But if you want to change something, if you want to affect something in the city, please follow the right direction. Channel your energy. And if you have questions, ask any of these people. Ask
3 minutes.
me. Thank you.
Thank you, Al.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing no one, we'll close public discussion. That takes us to the consent agenda 1 through 11. Council?
Move approval of the consent agenda items 1 through 11.
Support.
Any discussion, dissension? Before we move on with the full authorization, I'd like to see if anyone's here from the business license of 20937 John R. Detroit Vinyl Wraps. 1055 East 9 Mile, Spores, Hazel Park. If you want to come up and give an ad for your store, you can at the microphone. Speak at the microphone if you want to talk.
Come on.
Come on.
Get up here.
Everybody's excited about it. I can't tell you how many people ask me about it.
That's good to hear. My name is Aaron Yono. I reside at 29033 Glenbrook Drive in Farmington Hills. So Spores, we are a medicinal mushroom dispensary, I guess you would call it, but it's not really a dispensary. Basically what we do is we provide functional mushrooms to vets, people fighting PTSD, depression, anxiety, people trying to come off opioids, people who have alcohol problems, things like that. And that's pretty much what we do. So I don't know if anybody had any questions about what we do, or?
Yeah, one. Is this done through a medical process, or is it just done by any consults, anything?
So a lot of there's a lot of psychiatrists and therapists out there. A lot of people from the VA who recommend people to us, but we're not actually medical professionals that are, we're not filling prescriptions or anything like that. We're just kind of.
You get recommendations.
Yeah, they come in to kind of give us, hey, this is kind of how I'm feeling. This is what I'm looking to, try to combat and stuff like that. And we just try to help guide with that. And then we do a lot of stuff I would say 80% of our business is mostly vets. A lot of guys with PTSD and stuff like that. Actually, a lot of firefighters too that we deal with, and we just kind of try to help provide them and keep them. It's actually pretty rewarding. It's actually pretty cool.
Can you further qualify for people what functional mushrooms are, please?
So
there's some misunderstanding on what.
Yeah. So there's really kind of three groups. One would be your functional mushrooms, which are like medicinal mushrooms like lion's mane, chaga, cordyceps, things that are completely legal. They're not illegal anywhere in the world. Then you have your psychedelic mushrooms, which gray area, and then we have your gourmet mushrooms, which would be things you'd cook and eat with.
Right. So for the record, that just making sure we put this out there, that you're approved, but no illegal substances may be dispensed, and that means no mushrooms with psilocybin.
So I can't sell psilocybin mushrooms?
No.
It's a condition of his business license.
He's being sarcastic for people that can't see his face. I wanted you to clarify functional mushrooms.
Everybody knows, and I'm clarifying for the people at home because we get all kinds of questions about.
I can imagine.
I want to make sure that everybody knows.
You're just going to sell cooking mushrooms, right?
Well, that's
not cooking. I mean, so our mushrooms are they're really. Come in.
They're really good mushrooms, right?
Yeah, I will. You'll be blown away.
So basically, he's selling the hemp of mushrooms for people.
It's a CBD version of mushrooms.
Right,
there you go.
For people that are less confused, or the non-alcoholic version of White Claw.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
And when are you opening? What's your hours and what's going to happen?
Not sure yet. We've been trying to get open. So now that we've gotten this process done, we're hoping we'll be open by the 1st of March, and we'll be open probably 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay. Right.
Very good.
And anything we can do community-wise, helping out, things like that, please, our door's open. Come on, see us.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I believe that's all the business licenses on here. And any more discussion on it? Seeing none, motion passes. Takes us to the administrative reports. Item 1.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, administration recommends passage of item 1 on first reading, please. If you have any questions, Amanda and Melissa are available.
Council?
Yeah, Your Honor. Feels like deja vu. What are the latest changes to the short-term rental licensing ordinance? Because I know we had also done this, I think, late last year, earlier this year.
This is just ongoing compliance with the federal rules.
Yep. Compliance.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other comments? We have a motion with your support.
Yeah, Your Honor, I move adoption of an ordinance to amend Municipal Code Title 5, Business Licenses and Regulations, Chapter 5.44, Short-Term Rental Licensing.
I'll second.
Any just more discussion? Questions? Dissension? Hearing none. Motion passes. Administrative reports. Item 2, Special Land Use Case 24-01, 1003 East 9 Mile.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. We have before you a special land use request. James Finkley is here in the audience if you have any requests or information requests. James, did you want to come up and briefly, a brief synopsis of this?
Evening.
Hello. So this is a child care center in the LB zone. This went through the Planning Commission and site plan review. There is one unresolved thing. We'll be working with the applicant to relocate the dumpster. But other than that, everything was pretty much cleared up conditionally in the site plan review. So now it's before you for special land use approval in your consideration.
Council?
As a parent of a child in child care, I excitedly move adoption of PC Case 24-01, a special land use request for a child care center at 1003 East 9 Mile Road.
Support. Second. Let's not all hurry up and support it. Any other questions? Dissension? Motion passes. Boards and commissions, reappointments to the Brownfield Redevelopment Committee, Downtown Development Authority, and Planning Commission. You all see it here as Ed Klobuchar to the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, expires in 26. Jared Gajos, who expires in 26. DDA.
Michelle Haskell.
At 27. Planning Commission, Jake Slevats, 27. Kevin Kress, 27. And we are just got him reappointed. Congrats, guys.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
And let's see. That moves us down to the show cause.
Board of Review. We should do the Board of Review.
That's right. Before you appointments to the Board of Review. Miss that one.
Gary Harrison, Julie Andrzejewski, and Ron Nagy. And thank them for
term expiring 2024. And we thank them for serving once again. I appreciate it. That appointment is made. Show cause hearing 23761.
We should probably have.
Those are off. Actually, there was a notice issue, so those are
what?
tabled. Those are tabled until next meeting.
Oh, I thought they were
tabled. Those.
Yes.
Table
the boards of review.
No.
Show cause.
Oh, the show cause.
Show cause.
But I think we need a motion to confirm all the appointments from council.
Are they? Yes.
They're mayoral appointments, but subject to council confirmation.
Is that how they're doing it?
Yeah.
Which way do you want to do this?
Yep.
Yes.
It's one or the other sometimes.
Yeah, you make the appointment, but council confirms.
So motion to adopt from council?
I'll make a motion to approve the reappointing of the Brownfield Redevelopment, Downtown Development Authority, and Planning Commission members.
Second.
Okay, it's all done. Any discussion?
Hold on, we have
discussion.
I want it to two separate ones, so I figured somebody else would do
I
the
thought you
second
combined them. Sorry.
Yes.
Well then,
Would you amend your motion to also include the
I thought they need to be done.
Board of Review? They do not.
Okay. I will happily amend my motion to
And you're
include
okay
the reappointments to the Board of Review.
Is the support okay?
Support is okay.
Any other discussion? Dissension? Okay, it passes now. All right, we're
I
good.
tried.
All right, moves down to the show causes are being tabled. So we'll table 23761 Davy and 23858 Vassar. Do we need a motion to table those?
No. Just to
Make sure.
amend the agenda.
Don't want to get ahead of myself.
Amend the agenda to pull out.
Old business. Any old business from the council administration? Seeing none. New business. Any new business from the council administration they want to bring up? Do you want to ask about the work study be coming at us pretty soon?
We are trying to schedule a work study now. We talk about it in staff meetings when we get some dates that everybody can be at, and we are completed with all of our stuff. We'll have that, try to do that sometime in March. We wanted to do it in February, but we've got many things on the horizon in February. This is an extremely busy month. So,
and also,
we have to have a second council meeting at some point.
That's what I was going to ask you. The second council meetings, when we don't have second council meetings for the public's edification, can we get a 72-hour notice put out?
We will put that out there
so that people cannot be misconstrued that meeting was going to happening. I just want to make sure everybody has that.
Yeah, and this time, if
we've
call,
had people ask before over and over and over.
If there is a second meeting, it will not be on the fourth Tuesday because of conflict with the Promise Home Dinner.
Okay. All right.
So it will have to be a special meeting on another date.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out.
So
thank you.
Again, we've got State of the City coming up and lots of stuff on our plate.
Communications from the department heads. Any department heads in the audience would like to come up and have any comments? Don't jump at once.
I will. I'll make one.
Okay.
So just a reminder, this is from the code department, an easy tip for residents if you are renters to come up to our clerk's office, come to the building department, and just verify that before you sign a lease or before you rent, that it's a valid landlord with a valid license. It can hopefully prevent some headaches that we're seeing happening currently with our residents.
What kind of headache could that be?
There are many. And I don't think people understand the vast amount of resources that happen when residents have these issues and what can happen. It involves our police department, our fire department, our DPW, our chief of police, multiple code officers. It's a whole situation that easily these things can be prevented by, just getting the landlord license and verifying that that's happening and that the place is up to code. So just a easy thing that we can confirm for anyone. If you're looking at renting, if you're looking into that, just verify.
Okay. And that's a free service, correct?
Yep. It would take 30 seconds at the clerk's office or the building department. We would happily confirm it. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other department heads? No, just don't stay in one place. Okay. Moves us down to the city attorney, Melissa Schwartz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no comment.
Edward Klobuchar, city manager.
Just to state, as I state every council meeting, Michigan's system of municipal finance remains fundamentally broken. I wouldn't want that string to go broken. So we do have some really cool things to talk about. I think State of the City is going to be very exciting this year. It
will be.
Study session. We've got a lot of good news and a lot of amazing, wonderful things happening in this community. And I'm very pleased to highlight some of those things with you. Tonight, we heard from a young lady who was the victim of her neighbor's mistreatment and outright criminal behavior. And just want everybody to know that we're not going to tolerate that, and we're going to continue to do everything we can at the local level to ensure her safety. If you do have a neighbor that's acting like that, you know what? Your video phone is sometimes your best friend. We'll be taking a look to see what else we can do to help better protect her. But again, it's also important, as Melissa Schwartz said, to contact the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office. Now, I haven't read the police report in great detail, so I'm familiar with. I've been briefed on what happened, but I haven't read the specifics yet. But we're going to do everything we can locally to deter that kind of behavior. And remember, if your neighbor irritates you, we live in a community where people have to live close side by side. There's not a great deal of distance between you and your neighbor's house. So in order to get along in a community, you have to display a little bit of patience and a little bit of tolerance. And in this case, unfortunately, this person's been victim of someone who's it's not the first time, and she's not the first person that this has happened to. So we continue to monitor that situation very closely. So again, my advice to everyone, if you are the victim of criminal behavior, contact the police department. If you feel your personal safety is at risk from a neighbor, contact the police department. we are here to help you, and we will do everything that we can do within the parameters of the law, which we have to follow, but we will certainly do the best we can. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mr.
One question to that.
Yes, sir.
When does it become a public nuisance? When you have that many complaints and that many different people, situations?
You know, that's something, as I'm looking at Amanda and I'm looking at Melissa, that's something.
We've had this come before us before.
Probably going to be
cases.
discussed.
No.
I can't comment anymore.
Keep us updated.
Anything else other than to speak generically about issues between neighbors and people causing problems for others. Again, there's laws. We are a community of laws. And you need to respect those laws, and you need to respect your neighbor's rights. If not, you will be prosecuted. And if we prosecute you, I call upon the court system to put these violators in jail. Mm-hmm. And we'll be doing what we can do to hold the county prosecutor's office and judicial authorities accountable for their behavior and their actions. So, again, that's all that I have. But we'll look at everything that we can look at.
All right. Well, thank you.
Could I get a date on State of the City?
It is, I sent it to you all, 10th. It is March a 10th. Friday.
I got to look at I don't have my phone.
Hey,
there you go. You're awesome, Lisa Mayo. Thank
3
you.
weeks.
Friday, the 8th of March. That's at 8 a.m. at Navistar. It is a ticketed event through the Chamber of Commerce, but the good thing is we will be videoing it, and it will be available to watch, and rewatch in the raw excitement of the State of the City at your viewing pleasure forever and ever. So we hope to have it up at least a couple days after.
Someone's excited.
Regarding that neighbor, too, I would just like to say, if she is watching, not the neighbor, but the defendant, there is a no contact order that is in place. Chief confirmed that. It is entered into lien via the criminal case. She's also filed for a PPO. So once that's sued, if there is a no contact order violation, if she looks in the wrong direction, if she says anything to her and a police report is filed, that is felony stalking. That is separate charges. And she will be arrested for that if she does that.
Added to the one.
So those are additional charges. So to be very clear, there is a valid no contact order in place, and violation of that could subject to her to additional felony charges.
Right, and that's a great message for
anyone listening. Don't violate a
leave your neighbor alone. You have a no contact order. You will be arrested and taken to jail.
All right, thank you. Councilman Londo.
So, sitting on a piece of information, but wanted to address it at this particular meeting. I'm sure I'm shared with a lot of new faces. So, some of you may not be aware, but about 3-4 months ago, my 5, now 6-year-old niece was diagnosed with a super rare form of cancer called Langerhans cell histiocytosis. She underwent treatment at the Cincinnati Children's Hospital, which is the best children's hospital in the country for oncology, and we were hoping for about a 10 to 25% reduction in the tumor that was in her T1, and I'm excited to say that the treatment was successful and she's cancer-free.
Oh, yes!
Congratulations.
I am extraordinarily grateful for the way that this community showed up, not just for me, but for my sister and for my niece and my family. So particularly our police department and our fire station. So Chief and Chief Story, my family would like to buy your staff lunch any of these days. You let me know when there's the most people in the office, and we would love to get Louis Pizza for your team. Please do it over the next week, and just go ahead and contact me directly on that. Now I would like to address Hank, Sarah, Mel, Mike, Anthony, and I don't see Sue here, but I'm really grateful that she came. I see you, I acknowledge you, and I'm extraordinarily grateful that you took the time to come here and address your opinions about something so deeply personal to each of you. There are people on the dais that share your opinion, and in fact there are people on the dais that have expressed such an opinion to our elected officials at the federal level. And the reason that we have done that instead of going to the county level or the state level is because they are the power with the ability to achieve the outcomes that we desire. They wield the power of the purse and have the legislative authority and ability to influence international relations. As city council members, we are the easiest and most convenient avenue for you to air your grievances or give your opinion. We're your neighbors. We exist in the same community as you, and oftentimes our struggles and our successes are shared. On issues like this, we are the wrong avenue, and I don't say that because we don't care about this issue or because it's politically expedient. And those of you who know me know that I am indifferent to political expediency, often to my detriment. I say this because I've served as the Director of Constituent Services for United States congressmen, and the political and performative actions of elected bodies did not achieve the outcomes they sought from our office. However, phone calls, emails, office visits, turnout at town halls, and other citizen-led communications had the power to change his perspective and his vote. And in that same spirit, our office did not wade into matters at the regional or local level out of respect and out of deference. I am not in favor of setting the precedent that we are going to take positions on issues fundamentally outside of our purview, especially those at the national level, whether we represent the perspective of a minority, majority, or even the entirety of the residents that I serve. Our job is to pass a budget and to set the policy for the city that allows us to provide you with the services and amenities you require within the scope we are granted by law and by our charter. You may disagree with me, and I see it on your faces, and you may disagree with me vehemently. And despite the firmness of my perspective, I welcome your continued dialogue. But I ask that you also direct that passion toward the people who can make a difference, or you can run for office when my seat is up for election next year. But I suspect if you're successful in that pursuit and sitting in the seat that I hold now, you may very well end up feeling the same way, balancing the weight of representing the interests of the people that we serve with the proper role of this body. However, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for coming and for doing what you can to make a difference. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Councilman LaCuro.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well said, Luke. Well said. We had a bout of good weather last week, and as soon as good weather starts, the bicyclists get out there. So please watch out for the bicyclists out there. I want to thank everybody who came out Saturday to the Hazel Park, Madison Park Bowl. Big turnout, a lot of fun, good times, and for a good cause, the Hazel Park Youth Assistance and the Hazel Park Firefighters Charitable Foundation. It was a lot of fun, saw most of everybody here. And then I appreciate, you listed the names, I appreciate everybody coming out and participating in the democratic process. This is what we're here for. Whether we disagree or agree, I appreciate people coming out and letting us hear their voices. And so I'll, in closing, we don't need an executive session, right?
We do not.
Okay. In closing, great job, what you had to say. I couldn't express it better, Luke. Yeah. And on your your niece. If you love somebody, tell them. And if you have children, hug them every day and tell them you love them. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you. Councilperson Washington.
Hi. Again, I want to say thank you to everyone that came out today. This is why I ran, is to get more people involved and to get more people here and see more faces of the actual community that I serve. So I really appreciate that. I also echo what Luke says. He's much more eloquent than I am. Yes, I really appreciate every word that everyone has said tonight. I think it is very important to give voice to the voiceless. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sullivan.
I want to echo the sentiments of everybody else up here. Also, I want to apologize for speaking with a bit of a speech impediment. I bit my tongue in my sleep, and I have a bit of a lisp, y'all, so I'm sorry. It's great fun. Stress is lovely. But I've had direct conversations with many of the people that came here to speak today. I appreciate your passion. I don't disagree with your passion. I really strongly recommend, as I have in person, to continue speaking to our federal legislators, because they are the ones that really can address these concerns and really put the pressure on and have the ability to facilitate the efforts that we want to see happen. I am grateful for everybody that came out today. I'm grateful to be in a community where people care so much and where people are so empathetic. And I'm proud of that for our community, and I appreciate everybody that came out today, and we'll all keep continuing to work together and hoping to do our best as a community to continue to keep people safe, both near and far. I also want to remind people that as the temperatures warm up, even though we're going to have a little drop coming up here soon, keep an eye out for critters. It is not just Valentine's Day for humans, but also 'tis the season to find love in the wildlife world. So you will see more activity of the wildlings among us. That doesn't mean it's abnormal behavior. Please don't be startled, but you will probably see them out looking for that love connection. So just be aware. The skunkies are already out in my neighborhood looking for love.
You hosting a dating game?
I am not. I am not. The last thing I want is more. I like it when the skunks just keep passing through, friend. I do not want any stinky neighbors, but they're out there, and they're our neighbors too, and they live in this community too. So just be careful and keep an eye on your pets. Nobody wants a skunky dog and all that fun stuff. So that's it.
Definitely lighthearted, this whole crowd. So, thank you. I wanted to say that Councilman Londo had great comments here, and it is a balance of opinions to all and respect to all. Whether you agree with us here all the time or not, we try to balance the scales in which we can host those scales here locally. But really, the pressure should be on the federal officials and the state officials. State officials have a little more power, and they are more accessible than the federal ones. They have more town hall meetings here locally, and they need to have a little pressure applied to them as well. And I think that would be more of an avenue to pursue, to go after some of the federal people that you can't necessarily reach because they don't want to hear you. A lot of the local state representatives and senators, they host town hall meetings more frequently, even if they don't want to hear us. So that's another avenue. And I appreciate everyone coming out, because at the last council meeting, I was excited about how many people we had out, turned out for trees. Okay? And yeah, we're working on it. Government doesn't work in a hurry. It works in a very methodical, slow fashion, and we're trying to make those things happen. So with that being said, I do want to thank everyone again for their opinions. They are valid one way or another, positive or not. But those opinions are opinions. Whether I think they're positive or negative, it doesn't matter. Because we all have to work together. Some way, find a way to make this work for the community and for the world. And we all have variations. So we can have discussions forever. And that's the respect I want from everyone, even myself and everyone up here. We all want to respect everyone in their conscience. Again, thank you again for coming out. And I got to do this. It's my wife's birthday tomorrow. Oh. Valentine's Day. And I want to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day. And it's a very good time of the year to be happy and proud to be with another one that you may love, and pass on a little sentiment to them to say happy Valentine's Day and make their day brighter.
And Mr. Mayor, you've reminded me of something important, so I'm not shamed when I go home. I want to wish my wife Diane a happy anniversary on Thursday, and let her know how much I appreciate her for all of the things that she's had to put up with throughout my career as city manager. So happy anniversary and happy Valentine's Day, Diane. Thanks for everything. Again. And Luke, I'll tell you, I've heard a lot of speeches. I think I've come to almost every city council meeting for the past 35 plus years. And that was one of the best speeches I've heard from an elected official in the history of the city of Hazel Park. So you can go home tonight and you can be very proud of what you've done.
Thank you. Again, happy Valentine's Day, and a motion to adjourn.
Happy birthday, Bobby. Move that we adjourn.
Happy birthday, Robbie.
Happy birthday, Robbie. Support.